Let us not allow William Ruto to graduate to a dictator. If Kenyans give me a chance to serve at the highest level, I would only do a 5-year term, so that Ruto must know, when we in the opposition are telling him one term is not a curse. We used to let volunteers to clear the quarry of any more bodies. You remember the volunteers were tear gassed?
Yeah.
The government did not provide any alternative of clearing the quarry to know whether more bodies were hidden. So you can see targeting of women to bear the brunt whenever there is some insecurity in the country. East Africa region and Africa as a whole, we need succession planning. And it is time that even political parties instituted term limits for leadership, so that people can internalize what is in the Constitution. Because the Constitution of Kenya gives term limits for presidents. But our political parties' constitutions don't, except the Constitution of PLP, which we amended last year in 2025. We now have a term limit, which makes me ineligible in the next party elections. If we embrace term limits, people will internalize and understand better term limits for people who serve as presidents of the country.
Yeah.
And nobody can tell the country that they've got plans for them. Nobody will ever finish the work of developing Kenya. You get your 5 years, do your best in the 5 years. Leave the foundation you have laid to be built upon by other people. So for me, if Kenyans give me a chance to serve at the highest level, I would only do a 5-year term, so that Ruto must know, when we in the opposition are telling him one term is not a curse. You got 5 years, rejoice. Show your best in the 5 years. I'm not yet there, and I'm saying, give me the chance, I'll be one term. But in that one term, I will lay the foundation, returning the country firmly on the rule of law path, fighting corruption decisively, strengthening our institutions of governance, parliament, the judiciary, and the executive, and leading the way in serving Kenyans, not going there for self-aggrandizement, making sure our resources, human and otherwise, work for the critical needs. I propose to go earlier so that we are able to confer with him in Rosella, together with the other councils, so that we can get ready to face the court on the 24th.
How's he doing?
Poorly. After a long period of incarceration and bouts of bad health, he's suffering poor health. Remember, he's been detained for over 1 year. It's now 1 year, 3 months, because it was November 2023.
Wow.
And the law in Uganda is very clear that if you've been in custody for more than 6 months, 180 days, you're granted mandatory bail. We applied for mandatory bail. We were not given. We've been applying for bail every time, and every time bail is denied. You do not know whether there are some hidden hands, why it is different for Dr. Kizza Besigye and his co-accused Obed Lutale, why they remain in jail, even when the law says they should enjoy their freedom as they wait for the case to get underway.
And look at this this latest election. Bobby Wine, he's basically in action. Nobody knows where he is. His wife, you talked to Barbara Chagulani, right?
Yeah.
How is she? I mean, and they're giving her a hard time as well.
I've not met her lately, but I have seen her talk on online and talk of the horrors visited upon her by the officers who broke into their home. I've seen Dr. Sarah Birete also talking of them getting her in the shower. And we know of another young lady, Kaija, who was also arrested in the shower. Whether they physically go on to violate you or not is not the issue. They're feasting on you with their eyes. This is totally unacceptable. And that's why as women of Kenya, women of Africa, we issued a statement to say this is unacceptable, calling on President Museveni as a husband, a father, and a grandfather to stop these atrocities and to rein in on the CDF who happens to be his son. We also appealed to the CDF, telling him, you're a husband, you're a father of daughters. When you violate one woman, you're violating every other woman in your life. And they're setting, their behavior sets stage, especially his postings on Twitter, for the soldiers to behave worse. So it's a situation that needs help, but I want to draw a parallel with it. In Kenya during the Gen Z demonstrations, what did we hear of? About rape of women going home. And we then witness retrieval of decapitated bodies, female bodies from Kware. There were said to be about 40. The government has never come clean. They refused to let volunteers to clear the quarry of any more bodies. You remember the volunteers were tear gassed?
Yeah.
The government did not provide any alternative of clearing the quarry to know whether more bodies were hidden. So you can see targeting of women to bear the brunt whenever there is some insecurity in the country. The government was feeling insecure because of Gen Z demonstrations. Who decapitated women? They tried to say it was somebody and they took him to court. And then he fled. Methinks he was released. Because there's no way you can walk out of a police station, a guarded police station, unseen. We have never heard of any demotion, anybody charged out of it. We think he was just a scapegoat so that people don't talk about the matter too much. The government of William Ruto, the security forces under him, I believe, know about those decapitated bodies. And the buck stops at the door of William Ruto. So what is happening in Uganda? What happened in Tanzania worries us, because it looks like the regimes are copying each other. Even the way the violence was visited upon Azimio and later Gen Z demos, the mass killings, because in all those demos, 100 plus. That's what then multiplied in Tanzania to become thousands. In Uganda, we saw violence during the elections. And I've always said that William Ruto is in a hurry to graduate as a dictator. I want to ask Kenyans, let's join hands. Let us not allow William Ruto to graduate to a dictator.